Rory McIlroy's hidden past exposed by new book Asterisk. A brand new book just dropped a bombshell about Rory McIlroy, and it's not about his divorce, it's about what happened before it. What if everything you thought you knew about Rory McIlroy's love life was missing one crucial chapter? We all remember the chaos of 2024. The divorce filing, the internet going insane with rumors, Amanda Baglioni's name getting dragged into it. That was messy enough. But a brand new book just released isn't talking about the divorce. It's talking about how this whole story started years earlier at a golf event, behind the scenes. And what allegedly went down there has reignited a debate that many people thought was dead and buried. Stay with me, because later in this video, I'm going to tell you the one specific detail from this book that is genuinely making people uncomfortable. And I'll also tell you why some fans are now comparing Erica Stoll to one of the most famous and most controversial women in the entire history of golf. You don't want to skip ahead on this one. Trust me. But first, if you're new here, welcome to Analysis PGA. This is a channel where we don't do surface-level takes. We go deep on the stories, the drama, the history, and the real narratives behind the PGA Tour. If that sounds like your kind of content, hit subscribe right now and turn on the bell so you never miss a video. We drop new content every single week. Now, let's get into it. To understand why this new book is causing such a stir, you have to go back to 2024. Rory McIlroy, one of the most decorated golfers of his generation, shocked the entire sports world when reports broke that he had filed for divorce from his wife, Erica Stoll. Nobody saw it coming. There was no public fight, no obvious signs. One day they were a couple. The next day, the filing was public. And when the internet gets handed a mystery like that, it doesn't sit quietly. Almost immediately, rumors started flying. People started connecting dots that may not have even existed. The most prominent rumor? That CBS Sports reporter Amanda Baglioni's was somehow involved. Screenshots circulated. Theories spread. People were treating speculation like confirmed fact. To his credit, Rory addressed it, but carefully. In an interview with The Guardian, he said, "Asterisk, there have been rumors about my personal life recently, which is unfortunate. Responding to each rumor is a fool's game." Asterisk, he didn't deny. He didn't confirm. He walked the tightrope perfectly. And then, just as quickly as it exploded, it seemed to resolve itself. By June 2024, the divorce filing was withdrawn. Rory and Erica reconciled. They moved on. The world moved on. Or so we thought. Here's a question I want you to think about while we go through this. And drop your answer in the comments below. Do you think professional athletes deserve total privacy in their personal lives? Or does global fame mean the public has a right to know? There's no wrong answer. But I guarantee by the end of this video, your opinion on that question will be a little more complicated than it is right now. So here's where things get genuinely interesting. Golf writer Alan Shipnuck, one of the most well-known and controversial figures in golf journalism, has just released a book titled Rory, the Heartache and Triumph of Golf's Most Human Superstar. Now, Shipnuck doesn't do boring books. He's the same writer who published the unauthorized Phil Mickelson biography that blew up in 2022. So when Shipnuck writes something, people pay attention, whether they like it or not. And in this book, he goes back, way back, to 2012. According to the book, Rory McIlroy and Erica Stoll first crossed paths at the 2012 Ryder Cup. At the time, Erica was working for the PGA of America in a player coordination role. The two were in the same professional orbit. And according to sources quoted in the book, Rory noticed her. One source quoted in the book said, and I'm paraphrasing here, that Rory was throwing every bit of charm he had in Erica's direction. According to this source, his interest in her became a running joke among PGA staff members at the event. People were apparently talking about it, making comments, finding it entertaining. Now, here's where it gets complicated. Because in 2012, Rory McIlroy was not single. He was in a very serious, very public relationship with tennis superstar Caroline Wozniacki, one of the most famous couples in professional sports at the time. They were that couple, the kind that ends up on magazine covers without even trying. And then, on New Year's Eve 2013, Rory proposed. Wozniacki said yes. The engagement was announced. Everyone assumed a wedding was coming. And then, completely out of nowhere, the engagement ended. No detailed explanation was ever given. Just over. Within a couple of years, Rory and Erica were officially together. Now, the book doesn't explicitly say one thing caused the other, but it puts the timeline out there, and it lets you draw your own conclusions. I want to pause here for a second, because here's a fair question. Is it even fair to revisit this stuff? This is allegedly something that happened over a decade ago. Rory and Erica are married. They have a daughter. They rebuilt their relationship after the divorce drama. Does old history matter? Drop a comment, yes or no, and stick around, because I'm about to get to the part of this book that people are really talking about. The comparison that some fans are finding a little too uncomfortable to ignore. One of the most striking things in Shipnuck's book isn't just a Ryder Cup story. It's the way he describes Erica Stoll's public image, and who he compares her to. If you follow golf for any length of time, you know the name Elin. She was married to Tiger Woods. She stayed almost completely out of the spotlight. She gave almost no interviews. She existed in the orbit of the most famous golfer in the world, while being essentially invisible to the public, right up until the 2009 scandal changed everything. According to Shipnuck's book, some people in golf circles have started calling Erica Stoll a neo-Elin Woods. The reasoning? Similar profile, extremely private, married to one of the most famous golfers alive, rarely seen, rarely heard from, almost impossible to get any kind of read on. Now, to be absolutely clear, this comparison is not about scandal. It's purely about the public persona and the deliberate choice to stay out of the spotlight. But the fact that the comparison is being made at all, that tells you something about how people in and around golf are perceiving Erica's profile. And it's a comparison that has clearly made some fans uncomfortable, because Elin name carries a lot of weight in this sport. Let me ask you something, and I genuinely want your take on this in the comments. Is it fair to compare Erica Stoll to Elin just because she values her privacy? Because on one hand, privacy is a completely legitimate choice. These are real people, not characters in a TV show. But on the other hand, when you're connected to a global superstar, people are going to form perceptions. That's just the reality. Tell me what you think. And we've still got one more angle to cover, because while all of this book drama is happening, Rory himself has been making a major life change, and the timing of it is actually quite interesting. The Surrey move and what Rory is actually focused on here is something that tends to get lost in all the noise. Despite everything, the divorce rumors, the reconciliation, the book, the online theories, Rory McIlroy appears, by all accounts, to be in a good place right now. He's recently spoken publicly about a major life change for his family. After nearly a decade of living primarily in Jupiter, Florida, Rory, Erica, and their daughter Poppy have relocated to a newly customized home in Surrey, England. This wasn't a spontaneous decision. The property had been in planning for years. It represents a deliberate choice to put down roots back in the UK, closer to where Rory grew up, closer to the European golf scene. Rory has spoken about the family taking time to properly settle in before the summer stretch of the season. By his own account, it was a chance to slow down, be present, and spend genuine time together before the grind of the tour picked back up. And honestly, that image, Rory, Erica, and Poppy getting settled into a new home together, stands in pretty sharp contrast to everything the tabloids and internet theories have been painting for the last year or so. The family appears to be stable, focused, moving forward. So where does all of this leave us? You've got a golf superstar who has, by almost any measure, one of the greatest careers of his generation, multiple major wins, consistent world-class performance, a playing record that will absolutely be debated in the best ever conversation when his career is done. And yet, almost every year, his personal life finds its way back into headlines. The question isn't really whether Rory did anything wrong. We don't know that. The book presents claims from sources. Those are not confirmed facts. The question is, what does it say about our culture that we're this invested in the private lives of athletes? And what does it say about the sport of golf specifically? That even now, in 2025, the Tiger Woods era still casts such a long shadow that any hint of personal drama immediately invites comparisons. These aren't questions with easy answers, but they're worth asking. That's the full story on Rory McIlroy and the Shipnuck book, for now. But here's the thing I'll leave you with. Shipnuck books tend to have a long tail. Remember what happened with the Phil Mickelson book? It took weeks for the full fallout to unfold. We are still in the early stages of reaction to this one. There are people in the golf world who have read this book and have things to say. And I have a feeling, based on what I'm hearing, that this is not the last chapter of this story. I'll be watching it closely. And when something significant breaks, you'll hear it here first. So make sure you're subscribed to Rick Analysis PGA. Turn on the bell, because the next video in this series is going to take this story somewhere most people aren't expecting. Don't sleep on it. Like the video if you found this breakdown useful. Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. And I'll see you in the next one. Rick Analysis PGA. See you there. ****.